think you and your Hall of Fame quarterback buddy like football? Well, John Gruden and Brett Favre don't just like football, they love it.
It's red left switch, Z right, sprint right G, U corner, halfback flat.
Yes.
Nice and easy, let's walk it, here we go.
Football! Football, yeah! Football! Football!
Yes, sir!
Oh, man. I could just listen to John Gruden say football things and Brett Favre say football things all day. Just 24 hours.
I think I'll take Favre first, right? Like, Favre's my favorite. Because I love the drawl. I love the drawl and football. They just go hand in hand.
You think you like football? Brett Favre doesn't just like football. He loves football.
All right, here we go. They're going to jump right here. You know they're going to jump. Everybody hold your water. Green right, slot.
Hold your
98 handoff slot on 3. Ready? Balls, balls, balls. Balls, balls, balls. Balls. Green 18. Green 18. 10. Hit. Football! Football! Yeah! Football! Gotta eat.
Everybody hold your seltzers. Hold your seltzers now. Hold your seltzers. Cans.
Just great the way just the way he says it, though. Just the enunciation is so strong.
Well, welcome into Mackey and Judd here. We appreciate everyone who has helped us set a new Score North and Mackey and Judd and Purple Daily download record in the month of March. I think that's the biggest month we have had in the history of 1500 ESPN or Score North when it comes to listenership and consumption. So thank you guys for that. And we know that there's a bunch of just things happening in and around the Twin Cities with, oh my God, everything that's happening in Brooklyn Center and the Derek Chauvin trial. And so you guys come to us for an escape, and we appreciate that. And we'll try to give you some entertainment today when people's minds might be elsewhere. But we woke up this morning, and I got to be honest, boys, I wake up every day just crossing my fingers and hoping for either a Toddfather mock or a Godfather mock. And Godfather mock delivered today.
I want a mock!
Mel Kiper Jr.'s 4.0. Judd, do you get as excited as I do for when Mel Kiper releases his new mock draft?
Do we continue to have trades? Because if we continue to have trades in 4.0, then the answer is absolutely yes. But the trades, I think, because I know that Mel hates them, and like Mel now has been forced. I think he's been forced by management at ESPN to put his neck on the line here. And so I absolutely love the fact that he is forced to do something he does not want to in his mocks now, and the trades. The trades are my favorite part.
Well, you guys can see the headline here on the screen that we share. So NFL Mock Draft 2021, longest headline ever here, by the way. Mel Kiper's new 2-round predictions for top 64 picks, including 2 trades, 6 quarterbacks, and needs filled. I feel like he had more than 2 trades in his last iteration. It's possible that Mel has been scared off a little bit here by some of the activity that's happening.
Can I ask a question first? If you were to write the headline that you just showed us, I get everything in trying to get people excited about 4.0 from Godfather Mock, except for a needs filled. Isn't that an understood portion of a mock draft? Like a draft,
right. It's a weird
or just a draft. Like needs are. What if you were to say, "This is my mock draft"? No needs were really filled. Everybody just took redundant players. The Vikings drafted 8 more defensive tackles. That's all they did.
It is hilarious that he would have to add needs filled. It's already the longest headline ever, and it says like multiple trades and all the quarterbacks and teams fill needs.
Like needs filled for every team would be the only thing that would be that would probably be worse. Needs filled for every team in National Football League in this NFL mock draft. Anyways, sorry.
So here it is. I have not dove into this yet, so we'll see. And we keep track. We do most of our mocks on Purple Daily. So if you want all of the Monday mocks and the midweek mocks, go check out Purple Daily if you aren't already. And so we keep track of all the players that get mocked to the Vikings. Elijah Vera Tucker and Christian Barmore have each been mocked 5 times to the Vikings in the mocks that we have consumed on these shows. Kwity Paye, edge rusher from Michigan, 3 times. Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle from Virginia Tech, twice, and then a bunch of other guys once. So Mel Kiper, ready to rock here. He's still tinkering with his big board in position rankings, and his final update will come out just before the start of the draft. My pal Todd McShay just made a big update on his rankings as well. So they're already greasing the wheels for big changes.
Things are changing, Phil.
And so we'll start with pick number 1 here. Godfather Mock has Trevor Lawrence going to the Jaguars, Zach Wilson to the Jets. Is there a chance the Jets could throw a curveball here?
No. I think the Jets are locked in.
Okay.
This next one's the interesting one. See,
Mac
I
Jones.
don't buy
buy
this.
Yep.
I think that is Justin Fields.
I do too. Mac
Maybe
Jones
Trey Lance,
was like a
but I don't think
second
it's
or
Mac
third
Jones.
round guy 2 months
Yeah.
ago.
Yep.
All right, he's got a projected trade here with Miami moving back up, right? So they already traded back. They're moving back up to 4, but not for a quarterback. He's got Miami moving up for Kyle Pitts, tight end,
Great
Florida.
Great
Declan's
move.
guy.
Great move. Great move.
Declan's just going to be happy about that no matter what.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. What are you going to start watching Dolphin
I
games?
am. He's a stud. He's going to be a stud for
You're
Tua.
So right now,
Yep.
in Declan Goff's football world, it's going to go Dolphins, Packers. Then if you watch the Vikings, you watch the Vikings.
Maybe wherever Drew Lock ends up next season. I don't know if it's in Denver. Maybe he ends up somewhere
The
else.
Vikings
Maybe
are
a
like
Jalen
your
Hurts.
fifth
And like
team.
Kirky Boy and the Vikings, like 5 or 6. Yeah, that's
You
how
really are. Remind me, so I'm a millennial. If you were born like later, what's the one after millennial? It's Gen Z, right?
Gen Z. Yeah.
I feel like the younger millennials and the Gen Zs, it feels like, and I'm going to say you guys, because I'm going to put Declan in
for
this
it.
category.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
bigger fans of players than teams.
Correct.
And so your
Oh,
loyalty,
yeah.
you'll just
That's
follow,
true, though.
I'm a Chris Paul fan.
Yep.
And now I'm a Suns fan.
You know what?
Throw away my Clippers stuff.
Yeah.
Chip Scoggins' kids exactly like that. He's got his son, or I think the 18-year-old son, watches Ja Morant games.
Yep.
He doesn't watch. He doesn't care. Like Ja
Yeah,
Morant
Huge
could be
Memphis
traded,
fan.
but he's not because like
The Scoggins family straight up pays for league pass so
Yes.
his son can watch Ja Morant.
yeah, he doesn't pay to watch Memphis. He doesn't. The kid doesn't care if Ja Morant gets traded to the Clippers tomorrow. He's a Clipper fan,
I just find that super weird. Like I appreciate
and that's probably
players, but
Declan too.
It's like when people just pick a European soccer team, like our buddy Chris Long, and I'm going to rag on
Yeah.
him for
Oh,
this forever.
there's-
Like, I'm just a Tottenham fan. What do you mean?
That's
You
almost
just
all
got
of them.
got drunk at Brits and decided you're a Tottenham fan.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but that's like different because that's I think wanting to be part of a club, right? Like this is I just like a player, and I don't care where that guy plays.
I guess. All right, let's
It's a
keep
very
going.
odd thing to me, to an old guy like me.
All right, Bengals taking Penei Sewell, offensive tackle from Oregon. Atlanta Falcons trading back and still getting a quarterback here, Trey Lance,
Interesting.
to take over for Matt Ryan. I feel like, for God's sakes, Matt
agree with
Ryan's cap hit's like $45 million next year.
Yep.
They got to draft a quarterback. They're in position.
Yes.
They're not gonna be guaranteed a position like this to draft
And
a quarterback in a long time. So
A new offensive coach too. So like it makes sense that the new coach would come in and say Matt can play for us in 2021, right?
Yep.
But I'd like my own guy starting in 2022.
Lions taking what's probably going to be, unfortunately, for Jamar Chase. It seems like every wide receiver they take in the first round, except for Calvin Johnson, turns out to be a bust. But here we are. Jamar Chase. I might be wrong on that. Was Galladay a first-round pick?
Can he go? I think he was.
I'd
was.
have to look.
Maybe I'm just looking at
Could be
narratives
bad news for
from
the
10 years ago.
Vikings, Phil. It could be bad news for the Vikings if Jamar Chase goes to the NFC North.
Devontae Smith, wide
Here's the
receiver run here to the Panthers
Yep.
8. Micah
Darnold's
Parsons,
guy now.
linebacker, Penn State, going to the Broncos. So they'd be sticking with their quarterback situation. Then we have a projected trade. Mel Kiper, projected trade here. New England trades up with Dallas to get Justin Fields with the number 10 overall pick.
Okay, stop right there. Honest to God, I'm going to go crazy. My head is going to pop off. This is Tua last year. Do you guys really believe that Justin Fields is going to get this low? Like it's purposely being planted.
I think it's a lot of smokescreen. I think Justin Fields goes higher than 10, but I know that every year guys fall that you expect it to be in the top 5, and so someone's going to fall.
I don't feel like quarterbacks, I feel like this was the Tua exercise a year ago, almost exactly. The same exact thing. Is he going to get to 11? Is he going to get to, and I'm like, no, he's going to go probably top 5, and he did. I just don't, Phil, I'm with you on a lot of players that still, to this day, something happens or they tumble in the draft. I'm with you completely, except for quarterbacks. Like, I think so much BS. Teams are trying so hard to poison the well on Fields that it works with the quote-unquote draft experts. If he gets to 10, I will be amazed.
Yeah, we actually have exclusive audio from Steve Belichick. His thoughts on this massive trade projection by Mel Kiper.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Steve?
Steve-O?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about how it correlates. It's just trying to do my thing, and I think that that's what's best, so that's what we're trying to do.
Steve, Phil asked you about the chores. Do you have memory of your first football chore or one of your first football chores that he asked you to do?
Yeah, I got a couple memories of those.
Thanks, Steve. Exciting there. So many
He
memories.
sounds so.
Yeah.
He's such a dead ringer for the old man.
So many memories. He also has a mullet too. It's like you can't tell if it's. You can't tell with Steve Belichick. Is it an ironic mullet or is it like he just thinks that that's the hairstyle of 2021? I don't know. But with the 11th overall pick, the Giants take Jalen Waddle from Alabama, so all three top receivers off the board. Patrick Surtain, cornerback to the Eagles. Chargers taking Rashawn Slater.
Ouch.
And so that means the Vikings, with the 14th pick, are left
that's
with
good.
Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle from Virginia.
I want a mock.
All right, and the write-up here is that's 4 mock drafts for the 2021 class for me and 4 offensive linemen to Minnesota in the first round. It's a glaring hole on this roster. Darrisaw was outstanding at left tackle for the Hokies last season. Our stats and info team tracked him at 264 total pass block plays, and he allowed just 3 pressures and 1 sack. Put him at left tackle on day 1 for the Vikings. Your thoughts?
Hold on a second. Can you continue to scroll down? Am I going crazy, or did I not see Penei Sewell?
No, he went,
No,
went
you
five.
went 5.
Oh,
You went
5. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll scroll down here just so you can see J.C. Horn, Caleb Farley, so a run on cornerbacks here in the teens. Elijah Vera Tucker to the
got
Raiders.
17. Okay.
Kwity Paye to the Dolphins.
You know what? If Kwity Paye's there and they take Darrisaw, congratulations. I'm all for it. Because I know that Zim has been in Spielman's ear saying, oh, man, Kwity Paye's there. Take Kwity Paye. You got to take Kwity Paye. And Zim said, no, we are going to take protection for our quarterback. So if Darrisaw is the pick, I applaud Rick Spielman and the Vikings for doing the right thing.
Yeah, and obviously, like, it can't be a bust. If it's a bust, then it doesn't matter. But, you know, the fear of some of these guys being busts, you just have to get over that mentally in some cases. Like, yeah, there's a chance that these guys could be busts. Matt Khalil turned out to be a bust. Christian Ponder was a bust.
Yep.
The Vikings have had a few of those busts in the first round. They've had mostly starting caliber players. You went over it it was like last week, I think, on the show on Purple Daily.
Yep.
That they've actually not whiffed, but like they haven't found as many star players in the first round in the Mike Zimmer era as you would hope. But they've kind of made up for it with Daniil Hunter over here and Stephon Diggs over here in the 5th round,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So I've thought about this though. I think that my threshold is this one, Phil. If it's a position like wide receiver, center, Bradbury is the poster child for if you missed, you got problems. If you miss on a quarterback, a left tackle, like those positions to me, I would probably throw the fishing line out more and be like, you know what? There's a chance it's going to work here. And if it does, the payoff is potentially huge. I'm much more disturbed about when you take a position of need that I see as a position that can be filled elsewhere probably, and that is a miss, right? But like if you're gonna go QB, because you've got to find one, and if you do, that's at least first round, potentially 5 years of team control on a great contract, right? Left tackle, premium position. I'm much more of the mindset that if you take a shot at that and it doesn't work, okay, that's still a decent shot, especially if the player is a top prospect. If it's a center, though, that's what bothers me. Like the Bradbury pick was such a reach for a position of need, but it could have been filled elsewhere. At least that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. No, I think, you know, if you just sort of zoom out and get away from your big board and everything, like you have a chance to whiff on anyone that you draft, right? So the Vikings sitting there at 14. Let's say they think they need an edge rusher more for this year's team because they feel like they can sort of patchwork the offensive line and move Brian O'Neill to left tackle or whatever, and they could go sign a cheaper right tackle or something. They could patchwork it, right? Well, they could whiff on Kwity Paye. Like you could whiff on any of these guys. And so I think if you're staring at a left tackle for the future, a guy that could be, if you think Christian Darrisaw or you think Rashawn Slater could be your starting left tackle, above average to maybe even Pro Bowl caliber for the next 8 to 10 years, you have to draft that player, I think, regardless of, well, we feel like, I mean, by the way, that's a huge need for this year too. So it's like, it's in that sweet spot of it's a super critical position for you long term, and it's one of your biggest needs for this year. But Mike Zimmer clearly, when he gets into these arm wrestling matches with Rick Spielman, and it's defense or offense, I mean, he obviously won the arm wrestling match for how they're going to allocate their free agent money. So who's to say that he doesn't win
but
the
he's
same arm wrestling
won.
match?
You won, dude. Let's help the offense now. Well, like, I mean, that has to be part of the conversation, right? You won already. Like, the Vikings have not signed an outside offensive player.
But I don't. But you think he won? I think he still looks at his defense and says, "Oh no, man, we need another pass rusher, or this thing is going to fall apart."
No, you are correct. What you're saying is right. What I'm saying would be my counter to that. Oh no. He won, and he still wants to win more. He's trying to 10-run you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the tally to this point: Elijah Vera-Tucker, the offensive lineman from USC, and Christian Barmore, the defensive lineman from Alabama, have both been mocked in our mocks to the Vikings 5 times each. Christian Darrisaw now 3 times. Kwity Paye, edge rusher from Michigan, 3 times. And then you just have a hodgepodge of guys who've been mocked once. Jamar Chase, J.O.K., the linebacker from Notre Dame, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Waddle. Mac Jones was mocked at one point to the Vikings. Okay, we spent some time a few weeks ago talking about the idea of let's say the draft plays out and for whatever reason there's just a run on quarterbacks, and let's say those 3 tackles come off the board. So Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, and Christian Darrisaw, and all the quarterbacks come off the board in the first 10 picks or whatever, first 12 picks.
Sure.
And the run on receivers doesn't start until a little bit later. Maybe the Lions take one of the 3 big receivers, and then 2 of them fall into the teens. Do you think there's any chance, if the draft plays out that way, that the Vikings would say, "Screw it, let's go 3 deep again"? All right, wow, Jamar Chase is falling. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Pull the trigger.
Do I think that they should consider it? Yes, absolutely. Do I think that they would do it? No. I think at that point in time, much like we talked about, I think on yesterday's Purple Daily, I think at that point they trade back. I think they find a team that wants one of those guys and they trade back, because I really do believe that in Spielman's world, getting that second-round pick back is going to be huge. And I think if you trade back in the first round and allow a team to come up and get a guy that they want, they probably would at least consider some type of deal that would get you a second-round pick. So, no, I think if a quarterback falls, or if a receiver falls, as much as I believe that you should stop and possibly take that player, my guess is that's where the Vikings say, "Oh yeah, you want this guy, then give us your second-round pick."
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that. I mean, some of it's if the Vikings operated a different offensive system that was like they had like the 5th fewest pass attempts in the NFL last year, so they're going to look at it and say, "Well, we already have Thielen, and we just need someone that can be somewhat reliable as a third receiver on third down once in a while, someone who can catch like 15 passes," where other teams might look schematically and say, "Man, if we can get a third ridiculous receiver that's unguardable, and now we're going to throw the ball 100 more times than we did last year." But I don't think Zimmer looks at it that. I don't think he's looking for reasons to throw the ball more. Which is kind of a shame.
Which is really against where the league is now.
Yeah.
Like that would be like saying, I could read the paper online, but I get it delivered to my doorstep, and that's just good enough for me. That's what that is.
Do you still get the paper delivered to your doorstep? You have.
No.
You definitely. Oh, you don't?
No, I don't anymore.
I'm shocked.
No,
You're
you know
online
what?
only.
I'm online. Well, and I will pick it up at times, but subscription for a year is not cheap.
Yeah.
Like it's not cheap at all. But I get that strategy or that philosophy in life. I totally do. But it would be like, Mike, it's 2021. The news gets updated all day long. You can go read it online. It's really simple. And you'd be like, no, I get it delivered to my doorstep. It's like Dalvin Cook. They hand me the paper, and then I run to my recliner.
That's how he does it. He just waits in the morning for the paperwork to come
And
by.
then he just takes it.
Put it in my bread basket.
Put it in the vice.
Right here, yeah.
Put it right in there. Yeah, no, exactly right.
This mock draft of Godfather Mock on Mackey and Judd was powered by Federated Insurance. All you business owners out there, and I have been one myself in a previous life. I know what goes into it. You love it one day, you're grinding the next day. You're solving problems, taking care of employees. It helps tremendously to have an insurance company that gives you peace of mind as you navigate the challenges of running a business. When you partner with Federated, you get more than just a policy. You benefit from over a century of experience in making businesses as successful as they can be. Visit federatedinsurance.com to find your local representative. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect your
Football.
And boys, looks like we have a guest on the line here, Randy in Cottage Grove. What's going on, Randy?
Great. How are you?
We're doing well. I mean, what are we, 2 weeks away from the NFL draft? I mean, you came on the show a couple weeks ago and you refused to give us the 14th overall pick. We're wondering if maybe you've.
I refused to give. I refused to give it to other GMs.
Yeah, but by doing that, you didn't give it to us as well.
Were they asking?
Well, you could. You're a smart guy, Jeff. You can connect the dots. Now let's leave it at that. Well, you see my full mock. You might see some surprises.
I mean, are we going to see your full mock?
That's why we want to see it. Can we hear it?
Not right now. I'm still. I've been busy. I have other things in my life than mocking, if you can believe it.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I do, and I believe Judd and Declan also follow you on Twitter at RandyVikes69.
RandyVikes69.
Nice.
And we're happy to see that you have been vaccinated and that you're safe.
I got the last one this morning. It's great.
He told me off the line he got his third shot, though.
That's the controversy.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to ask about. I mean,
it's the fifth shot. Fifth time I got jabbed, as they say. But I wanted to go double, triple coverage. You get all three, absolutely.
You're three deep.
I'm not sure that's what you're supposed to do. In fact, I think they're advising that you only supposed to get one. And as of this morning, you're not supposed to get the Johnson & Johnson one, which Judd got on Friday, by the way.
Yep.
He might keel over at any point.
I am a time bomb.
I got that one today. I got that early this morning. I guess if they're not doing it now, I got snuck in under the wire. So I'm glad. I mean, if they come out with a fourth one, I'll get that too because, I'm on just a touch north of 60. So I'm still I'm an athletic guy, but I can move around. I've got a pretty decent, pretty groove swing still at the plate. Pretty good stroke bowling. But I've got a gut. I'm not gonna lie. I got a beer gut. And so better to be safe, than sorry. And I got them all. I just go with some different retailers and drove around some places. And old Randy's all. In fact, all these vaccines are all great. They're all studs.
Did you get these from like reputable places, or did you drive around and try and find like under the table vaccination places?
No, I got the Moderno at Thrifty White. They were helpful, great, lovely people there. That's the first one I got. I went to North Dakota for that, and funny story. I had to go back to get the second one, and I goofed up and brought my Pfizer card instead. So
Pfizer is
They said, "Well, this is Pfizer." I said, "That's my buddies." They just gave me a separate card for the other Moderno, but they're good. Matter of fact, if you want, I could do a vaccine stud stable.
I mean, listen, I feel like it's our obligation here. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. I'm reading an article on nationalgeographic.com that says people should not take more than one vaccine. You're not supposed to take
Who said that?
Pfizer
Who said that?
and a Moderna
Science.
and a Johnson & Johnson. You're just supposed to get one. So how you're not foaming at the mouth and keeled over right now, I don't know. We just need to put that disclaimer on the show that whatever medical advice you're hearing from Randy in Cottage Grove is definitely not approved by any sort of medical professional.
Listen, let me ask you guys. You ever had a beer buzz?
A few times.
A couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens when you have that second beer? Feels good. Get the buzz working. You know what if you mix in a shot?
Did you drink while vaccinating, Randy?
Not inside the clinic, the pharmacy, but I had bloodies before. When I had bloodies after. I mean, you can't. This is a good moment for humans. You know, we did it. Congratulations to us. And I'm going to celebrate it. I took all three.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right there.
I got the last one today. So yeah, it's good. I guess it's good to.
Andy?
It's good to have. Excuse me.
What? Are you okay back there? Is everything?
Good to have all three, and the Johnson one. The Johnson one today is what.
Randy, what's going on back there, brother? What are you doing?
Johnson one today is what I had. The third one.
That's not what I asked. What are you doing right now?
They're all studs, and they do.
Okay, hold on. It sounds like we only have a couple minutes left with Randy before something terrible happens. Let's fire up his music, Declan. He wanted to do a vaccine stud stable, so let's give the man one last request here.
Doesn't sound good.
This is Randy in Cottage Grove's not advised vaccine stud stable.
Randy Vikes 69. All right. Okay. This is a stud stable for the 3 vaccines that I got. Number 1. The Moderna is an mRNA, as they call it. You got to wait 4 weeks. But the second one, it's a stud. And the Pfizer.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. I figured that was going to happen.
Do we got location on him?
I don't know. That's alarming. Very alarming.
Did he just die live on our show? He said he got the Johnson & Johnson one.
Oh, I know. And then he was feeling fine, and then he wasn't.
Oh my God!
You didn't even get through the stud stable.
Do you have his number, or does he just call us on an unidentified number?
I can't see it when he calls into the.
He just calls the same studio line that he's been calling for years.
I feel like we should check on him.
Someone should monitor his Twitter account just to make sure.
All right,
Randy. I mean, let's be honest.
That was a little.
You might not be able to tell one way or the other based on his Twitter account whether he's okay.
Well, we told him not.
Previous tweets.
That's
not
good.
I think getting all 3 vaccines was a bad idea, but I also think pre-gaming them all was probably not a good idea.
Okay, asking for a friend. Are you not supposed to drink after you get the vaccines?
I mean, you're not like necessarily supposed to go get bombed. You know, you're not supposed to be getting bombed when you get it.
What if you had 3 glasses of red wine?
That's a lot of red wine.
That's a lot of red
within
wine.
2 hours of. I mean, it's been
before
it's
or
been
after.
a week, so it's been a week.
Like the bookends of him. I don't know. I would advise if you're just getting a vaccine to probably.
But
and that's coming from me. You know,
he got all 3, which you're not supposed to do, and it sounds like he pre-gamed it before each one. So that's different than your experience of getting your shot and having 3 glasses of red wine.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to see if he's. I don't know if he's in any shape to tweet, but
it didn't sound good.
This
would be a hell of a time for him to go.
That's a transition
during the mock draft season.
All right.
We're gonna win, Twins. We're gonna score. We're gonna win, Twins. What's that baseball score?
Alrighty. So today's Talkin Twins discussion, powered by our friends at Dennis Kirk and DennisKirk.com, if you're into riding, motorcycles, sport bikes, cruisers, you'll find what you need at DennisKirk.com. 160,000 parts and accessories in stock, clothing and helmets as well. We should just get Judd a motorcycle helmet that he can wear on the show.
I'd love that.
Yep.
Just a
I won't ride a cycle, but I'd wear the helmet.
And now that he's vaccinated, we can fulfill that sidecar request. I can be in that sidecar with Judd as he's rolling down 394.
I would drive
home.
one of those with a sidecar.
I'd be in the sidecar. I'd be in the sidecar.
But I'd drive one of those because I feel there'd be stability there.
I don't know. Judd got the Johnson & Johnson, so he probably only has about 72 hours.
Told you I'm a walking time bomb. I got it last Friday. I felt terrible on Saturday. I felt a little bit of a hiccup in the leg a couple days ago. Not going to lie. No, I'm curious. Blood clot?
Order before 8 p.m. at DennisKirk.com, and they ship the same day. Plus, shipping is free for orders over $89. They truly are the best in the business. DennisKirk.com. Everything you need for your ride at DennisKirk.com. Okay, so Josh Donaldson played in a simulated game over at CHS Field with his fellow, not his fellow minor leaguers, but with the minor leaguers. And he's done some sprints and things that make the Twins feel good, and apparently he feels good about the hamstring and the calf. So the Twins have said he's probably going to be back before the end of the homestand. What is your level of, I guess, how good do you feel about him coming back and just jumping right back in the mix 2 weeks after he popped his hamstring with the second swing of the season?
Yeah, I don't really feel good about this. I guess I feel a sense of trepidation. I think the Twins, being the Twins, are going to certainly bring him back slowly, which means that Arise will continue to play third base quite a bit probably. They might give Cruz a day off here coming up and have a Donaldson DH. All of that being said, and this sucks to say because with what he's being paid and the expectations for the day he signed, I really believe that in some ways we should look at Donaldson until he has a lengthy stretch. And by lengthy, I don't mean 2 weeks. I mean a lengthy stretch of health as what he provides as almost a bonus, in the sense that I don't think we should expect it. Okay, it's fine now. Like we've just seen between the hamstring on opening day and the calves at various times last year, we've seen too much. So I don't like saying this, and you certainly would expect more, but I really think that you have to, if he comes back and can produce even on a 3 times a week basis, I see that as a bonus because I just at this point can't count on him to consistently stay on the field. And he still, he still talked about how he changed his stride or how he ran, and that came back and caused hamstring problems. I can't trust it. And I think if you do, it's foolish, because what's to say that there is not another calf problem or hamstring problem right around the corner?
Yeah. Maybe there's a third running motion he can try. Is there another area? Can he put some pressure on the glutes to take pressure off the hamstrings and the calves?
How do you run on your ass?
Can you run backwards?
You run on your... Yeah, my ass does all the work.
I mean, Tiger Woods always talked about activating his glutes. So I like Declan's idea. If he runs backwards, would you then?
Jimmy Pearsall, yes.
Actually, I think that would put more strain on your calves if I think about it.
Can you get up and do it?
I could.
Yeah. I think you're right, Dex.
I think it would be.
I think what you just said's right.
Yeah, that's too much calves. That's too much.
It's calves. It's generated.
All calves.
It's the calves firing.
Yeah, it's all calves.
What about that sideways,
the
karaoke thing? Like the sideways sort of.
Then that's a groin. That's a.
Hold on a second.
Oh no, Judd's gonna do a karaoke. I would love to see Judd. Oh my God, no way. Well, that's not a. That's a tap dance. That's not.
Oh yeah, you could do that. Yeah, no tap dancer on the bases. Like a ballerina.
Listen, if he just hits bombs, he doesn't have to worry about this. He can take as long as he wants to go around the bases. So I would say if he's back, I don't want him taking playing time from Luis Arraez. So if you have to move Luis back to the outfield, but I would look at potentially, I don't think they're going to do this, but Miguel Sano has become just so half-dimensional and by half-dimensional I mean the only thing he brings is power, and it's only there sometimes. So if I'm going to take at bats away from certain players, I'm looking at Miguel Sano and Jake Cave before I'm looking at Luis Arraez. If there's a way you can keep Arraez and Donaldson in the lineup at the same time, and maybe that means moving Donaldson to first base a little bit so he doesn't have to range as much and worry about popping a leg muscle, I'm just saying, I think they should look to be a little more open-minded now compared to maybe where they were a month ago, based on Miguel Sano and based on Donaldson, injuring a different part of his leg.
Yeah. Now, the thing was, I assumed that he had played first base more in his career until I was writing the piece on Sano on Sunday, and I looked it up, and he hasn't played much first base. And I think he would balk at that probably. Now, I don't know that if I'm Baldelli, I would care about that. But I do think that there is a way to create a lineup that Sano can still play at times, but could put a rise in left. And as I said, when Kirilloff comes up, and by the way, he can come up, I believe, after Friday, and he doesn't get the year of service time accrued, Kirilloff can play first base too. So, there's a way to make this work for sure. And there is no... Now, they're not going to keep Kirilloff down until the Saints start just to make this look good, right? They need to bring him up on Saturday, don't they?
I don't think they're going to. So here's the problem.
Yeah.
The Mariners' old CEO came out and basically went public against his knowledge, which is ridiculous. Dude, you're on a Zoom call with,
It was like a Rotary Club, you idiot.
Yeah. But he basically said, hey, yeah, he unveiled the entire scheme, right? Which is, we just hold those guys down for a couple weeks. We get the extra year of service time. You know how it works, right?
Right.
So I just think teams have to be a lot more careful if they want to avoid grievances this year. Not to mention, Alex Kirilloff hasn't played in a minor league game yet. So if your whole logic is we're gonna cut this guy from Major League camp because he has to work on some things. He wasn't good enough in Major League camp. He has to work on some things to be worthy of coming up to the big league squad. How shady would it look if the day after the deadline passes and he hasn't played a minor league game yet, you're like, oh, now he's ready. Now, if there's an injury, then it's easy. Because then it's like, well, I mean, we need a body up here, right? So if it's an injury, it's an easy decision. But
you know who doesn't look good?
I think they wait if there's no injury.
Sano looks like he might be hurt. I wonder if this is because he's hurt. I wonder if they're going to need to put him on the DL on Friday.
Can't activate his glutes.
IL.
The reason why I would, and the system has been made a mockery of in the case of this service time issue time and time again. The reason why, if I'm the Twins, I wouldn't care is very simple. And it's why I don't quite get why Kirilloff didn't start here. I'm telling you, in the CBA that's going to cause a work stoppage next summer, which expires in December, this rule is going away. They're going to, part of the agreement on the player side when this does get done is going to be to take this archaic, stupid rule and change it. So I'm not saying that there won't be a service time rule, but it's not going to be this. If you're down for 16 days, who put that in? So that rule is going away. And I don't know if there's going to be an attempt to grandfather guys like Kirilloff in, or they'll just fall into the new rule. But my point is, if I'm the Twins, I'm trying to win games now, and this year is important. I think I would just say quietly, okay, he's called up. But you could have a case to IL Miguel possibly.
You know what they
looked
should
terrible.
do?
Something might be wrong.
I'm
worried.
I think you're onto something. Maybe something physically wrong with Miguel. It would make more sense that way. But just on the service time thing. So the way it works is I think this is how it works. If you get drafted out of high school, then the team has, I think it's 5 years before they have to put you on the 40-man. And then once you're on the 40-man roster, then it becomes okay. Now you're whatchamacallit, your option years start. So the clock sort of starts ticking on how many option years you have left. You get 3 option years, so they keep moving you along that way. They got to put you on the 40-man or within 5 years, and then once you're on the 40-man, you get 3 years where you can be optioned up and down from the minor leagues, and then once you're in the major leagues, then your major league service time clock starts ticking. It's all very confusing. Wouldn't it be easier if you just said, all right, if you're an 18-year-old kid out of high school and you get drafted, so the two times you can get drafted are out of high school, and then your junior year or senior year of college. So if you're an 18-year-old or a 21-year-old, there'd be 2 different classifications. If you're an 18-year-old and you get drafted, maybe the team gets 8 years of control over you, just wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're in the low level of the minors, high level, or if you're in the major leagues for all 8 years. The team gets you for 8 years, and then you can figure out a salary structure. And then if you're drafted out of college, it's like 6 years. because you're closer to the major leagues, right? And forget, and then it's like there's no punishment for a team calling Kirilloff up right out of spring training. You just, all right, whatever. It doesn't matter either way. We'll just call him up if he's ready. If he's not, then he'll stay down in the minor leagues instead of doing this whole dance where, all right, let's keep him down for 3 or 4 weeks and just make sure. Like, it's so stupid and confusing, and I think it helps ruin the game for young fans too, not really understanding the system. So,
And who
that's how I would fix it.
came up with this? Like 16 days in April. That's what I mean.
Dude.
Like it lends itself to stupidity and obvious collusion, right? Like it's so obvious. So like just change it. It just makes no sense.
It's I mean, what it is, it's not like the day. It's there's like 182 days of the regular season or something, and you need 170 days or something to have a full year of service time. And so that's the game that these teams play.
But
It's
I think
absurd.
so I do think that despite the fact it's a bit of a conspiracy theory on our part, I do think there's something to be said that if Miguel Sano continues to look this bad, you go to him on Friday and say, dude, we got to do something here. You strain something. We don't care what. But you're going on the 10-day, and but you need to work. And Kirilloff will come up to replace you for now. Because that would at least get him off the field with a quote-unquote excuse, right? And he could do so. I mean, something's up. You can't be this bad.
I mean, it's only been a week, so you can't go crazy overreacting to 1 week. But to our point yesterday, it hasn't just been a week. It's been a couple years.
No, but I'm saying if it continues now, right? Like so now we're up to 2 weeks, and I mean, you look just absolutely feeble. That might be a good plan to get Kirilloff up and to actually help Sano behind the scenes.
Yeah. Dex in a second has some clips on the Wild standing pat at the trade deadline yesterday. A quick shout out. So if you're a big golf nerd, Masters recap episode of the all new 10,000 Swings podcast here, part of the Score North Network. I joined Brad and David for just a fun Masters recap, which you can find in audio form, scorenorth.com, Apple, Spotify, 10,000 Swings. You can also find it on our YouTube channel, Score North MN YouTube channel from yesterday. So if you're a golf nerd, check it out. We did a full dive, almost an hour-long dive into the Masters.
On CBS.
Masters.